Hello, everybody. It is the last week of the first quarter of the school year in 8th grade English, and we are just getting finished up with Chapter 2. We're going to finish Chapter 2 of The Outsiders this week and be ready to start our second quarter off fresh next week. So, I'm going to go over the expectations for this week. I'm kind of allotting a little bit of time for people to get caught up because there's a lot of you guys that are missing a lot of assignments. It's not even funny how many assignments some of you guys are not keeping up with. But that's beside the point. So I'm going to go over today's assignment. This is the assignment. This is the only Outsiders assignment this week. This week is kind of a weird week because we're only here. Some of you guys are only here on one day. So if you're here in the A cohort, you're only here for one day this week. Tuesday, there's no school. It's election day. Wednesday, we're home, as we have been since the beginning. And then I'll have my B cohort on Thursday and only half day on Friday. Okay, so it's kind of a weird week. That's why I'm not putting a ton of work out there for you. Most of you are going to have your hands full with getting caught up this week. So let me kind of go over what we're doing for the week. So November 2nd to the 6th, there is our Outsiders assignment, Chapter 2, which is what I'm going to kind of go over quickly with you right now. We have our weekly daily ELA, and then we have one question that's going to be posted on Tuesday that needs to be answered, and it is based on the work that is in this chapter. Okay, so let me go over this. So I'm going to go to the assignment. It looks a little bit different on your page because you see it from the student point of view. But for Lesson 6, we're doing Chapter 2 of The Outsiders. I'm not posting read-alouds of the chapters. I mean, if you really want to watch a YouTube video of somebody else reading it, that's up to you. But I'm not posting the links for those. It's up to you. I am posting you the complete text, however. So we are reading Chapter 2. So the first thing I want you guys to do is to open up this Google slide presentation down here at the bottom. All right, and then I'm going to go to present. All right, so what I'm going to go over is alike but different, and that'll be clear in a minute, and then what you can do while you're reading. Okay, so one of the things we're going to talk about this week is something called stereotyping. And I have a definition of stereotyping up here. It is a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing. And the example there is the stereotype of the woman as the carer, stays home, does laundry and dishes and stuff like that. That's an oversimplification, and it's not even true. Okay, so stereotyping is a negative thing. You can take stereotyping many different ways. It falls under the prejudice umbrella that we're going to talk about, and it also falls under intolerance, which is something that the civil rights movement has been going against for many, many years. So stereotyping is a negative thing. All right. Now this is something that is going to come back, and you need to know this. So the three words at the top, we have prejudice, which we've already investigated. You guys were writing a paper on prejudice. We have stereotyping, which I just kind of went over briefly. And then we have something called intolerance, the fact that you just don't tolerate other people or other cultures or whatever. So these three are alike, but there's differences between them. So that's what we're talking about here. So in the big box here, what do these three things have in common? Down here, what makes them different? All right, so this is an important sort of picture here. And on Tuesday morning on Google Classroom, a question is going to be posted, and it's going to have to do with this page right here. So you may have to come back to it and review it. So what do prejudice, stereotyping, and intolerance have in common? Well, they all have to do with dividing, pushing people apart, negative thing. And they can all lead to conflict. People that prejudge people can lead to conflict. You stereotype somebody and you think somebody is something because of the way they look or the way they act, or you just don't tolerate other people, can lead to conflict. So they all have negative connotations. That means negative things that surround them. So what makes them different? Well, prejudice deals with more with dislike and hostility. So you just don't like somebody because of the way they look, or you're hostile towards somebody because of a predetermined judgment you have about whatever culture they happen to be. Stereotyping can be less negative. It is identifying something as typical. In the book The Outsiders, we have the Socias and we have the Greasers, and the Greasers are typically seen as not as educated. They're blue collar workers. They wear the leather jackets and they keep their hair slicked back, which is why they call them greasers. And the Socias are looked at as sort of the rich kids who get everything that they want. But those are stereotypes, and that's what the whole book investigates. So you're going to learn a little bit about both groups. And then finally, what's the difference? What are the differences? Intolerance is different than the other two because it shows a lack of open-mindedness and acceptance. So you judge somebody because you just choose not to open your mind up to what the possibilities are for a particular group of people or person or whatever. Okay, so those are the three things that are these are what are the same about prejudice, stereotyping, and intolerance. And these are the three differences. So you're going to have to come back to this at some point. How are you going to remember? Well, this worksheet right here is going to be one of the things that you can use to help you. And then by understanding how these themes, the three themes of prejudice, stereotyping, and intolerance, they're going to play a role in The Outsiders. All right? And then down there it says, by sharing with three peers and examining thoughts. That's going to be something we'll do for the students that are working in class. All right, this is what I want you to pay attention to while you are reading Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is a long chapter. Pay attention to the interactions between the Greasers and the Soch girls at the drive-in. And you should pay attention to the fact that the characters being unfamiliar with one another negatively affects their perception. Since they don't really know each other, they just assume things about each other. And that always leads to negative thinking about that group of people. So we kind of keep going back to the theme, how you perceive people. The less you know about somebody, the less you're going to perceive about them. And that's what prejudice has to do with. So that's what you're going to do while you're reading. And I do have a paper in here that has character interactions that you can use as well. Vocabulary, there are some vocabulary words, and in the novel on the PDF that I have attached here to the assignment, I've highlighted them for you. So you don't have to go searching for them. They're highlighted in yellow. And when you get to those words, you'll know. I think there's only 3 this time around. So what I want you to do is to look at the word, see if you can understand what the word means before even bothering looking it up in a dictionary or online. Because a lot of times you can tell just by reading the sentence that the word is in, or the sentence before and the sentence after, you can get an understanding as to what that word might mean. And when you write the definition down, I always get very impressed with kids that can figure out those context clues and figure out what a word means before even looking it up. Chances are I give those kids higher grades because they just went ahead and they just kind of, took the initiative to do that on their own. But last resort, if you can't figure out what the word means, look it up. Okay, dictionary, online dictionary, whatever you need to do. Okay. And then there's a focus question. So each group of kids has created a stereotype of the other group in their own minds. Ponyboy thinks Socias are all rich and get whatever they want and have an amazing life. The Soch girls think that the Greasers are all uneducated slobs who do nothing but fight and get into trouble. So read the question and the answer plan, and I'll show you what those are, and come up with a solid paragraph or 2 to answer the question. Guys, when I say a paragraph, I mean a paragraph. You guys are 8th graders. Paragraph, I'm looking for, if you're going to write a short paragraph, no less than 5 sentences, and they better be good if it's a 5-sentence paragraph. I kind of lean towards 7 to 10 paragraphs. But remember, this is 8th grade. I look at your spelling. I look at your punctuation. If I read it and it doesn't make sense, I'm going to tell you it doesn't make sense, and then you're going to have to do something to fix it up. Okay? All right, so that's the last slide here. So this is where I want to take you. So the text, really briefly, the text is laid out here. Chapter 2 begins on page 18. So I'm going to forward to page 18 or get close to that. And then I want to show you the vocabulary words that are highlighted. Okay, so chapter 2 begins here on page 18. As you're going through, you're going to read the chapter, as you normally would read. But you'll notice here's one of the words that you need to know. So they are highlighted in the text. There's another word, incredulous. So I did highlight them for you so you don't have to spend a whole lot of time looking for them. And here are the character interactions. There's nothing you need to do on this page, but what I want you to pay attention to, because this will help you answer the focus question. These are the interactions between them, and I do have the page numbers on here. So you're gonna meet some of the Soch girls, and you're going to meet some of the Greaser boys, and these are how they interact with each other. And these are direct quotes from the book that kind of give you an idea of how they're treating each other. Okay, so I'm not going to read it to you. This is your job to read these out. Okay, so just read through them so you have a good understanding of how they treat each other. And the actual work page that you guys need to do. In class students, you're going to be doing the same one in class. So roguishly, and I told you that was on page 20, incredulous, nonchalantly, and vaguely. These are the vocabulary words that I want you to understand. Just for today, I just want you to go ahead and write a definition in here. And if you're typing this and it gets to the end, just keep typing. The box will be made bigger automatically, so it's not a big deal. And focus question number 1, I just went over. How does Ponyboy think the Socs live? Do you think he believes a Soc can have it rough? Here's the answer plan, and notice I do have the points up here. So this is worth 30 points, and up here is worth 10. So begin by explaining how Ponyboy views the Socs. So explain it, paragraph, okay? Explain why you think Ponyboy feels this way, and use evidence from the book, all right? Why does he think the Socs are the way they are? And look at those interactions. Go back to the character interaction page if you need to do that. And then your conclusion. Conclude by describing how you think knowing Cherry will change or not change Ponyboy's ideas about the Socs. All right, so that is the work that you need to focus on. This is due on, this will be due on Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday is the last day that I'll be accepting work for the quarter, so make sure you have everything turned in. And the end of the quarter is on Friday, of course. And if you have not yet joined the new Google Classroom, I did send an email invitation to every single one of you. Check your email because the week after, when you log in, these classes won't be here anymore, and you'll be wondering where to find your work. Well, it's all under the new class, so make sure you sign up for the new class this week. All right, good luck.